impermanence, I see it as, as being very foundational. How can you have creation if there is not impermanence? So every aspect of aliveness seems to me to carry with it the temporary nature. So the more I reflected on it, the less I began to think of it in terms of a completion or a finishing or an ending, but as being foundational to beginning, as being at the essence of life as I experience life. I tend to embrace impermanence as a recognition of the reality of aliveness.
I think impermanence is about mortality. The realization that one ends, just the act of being, that it goes away, is kind of weird, that there's nothing. But if there's nothing, do you perceive nothing, or what happens? And it's a big mystery. I don't think there's a really good answer to that, but it's the act of figuring out how you're going to deal with it throughout your life that sort of defines how you deal with impermanence. I don't know that anyone has really figured out how to deal with. It's just a fact of life. It's not something I deal with every day. I don't think it's something that anybody deals with every day. You try to live your life and have a good time. This idea that there's this great unknown sort of puts a little bit of shadow of chaos into everything.
Impermanence means change. Change just happens. Over time, everything changes. Without change, I think I wouldn't be doing very well. I don't think anything would have happened without change, and change just happens.
Impermanence to me mostly means a very good thing. It means progress. It means forward moving. Impermanence is like the seed turning into the tree. The tree's not the seed, but it came from it. Just like the fruit is not the tree, although it came from it. The seed and the tree and the fruit are impermanent to me. They're all part of the same cycle, but they're different. I reflect on my life, I think of my childhood, and I think that I wasn't a young man then, and I in fact became a young man as a result of my childhood, and that I wasn't the man I am now in my young adulthood, and I'm also, not the old man I'll become. And to me, the idea of impermanence sort of sums up that cycle. It sums up that forward movement, that progression, that momentum.
It's the condition of letting go and being in the habit of letting go, being detached. It's the state of being able to enjoy what is in its passing away without trying to cling to it. A beggar on the side of the road, he has nothing. He puts out his hand and saying, "Give me a dime," and the hand is open to what may be given by life. And somebody passing by drops a quarter in his hand, and immediately the hand closes to possess it, and it becomes a fist. And you could then use the fist to protect what you have possessed. But of course, you can't even use it very well because you are so intent on clinging to it and protecting it. Poverty of spirit now is opening the hand again, having the courage and taking the risk of remaining open, running the risk that the quarter may be taken away from you, but also being in a position where you can receive more. And it's in that position of receptivity and of openness, which is the experience of fullness of reality, and the goodness of reality begins to flow into one, and that's true happiness.
Probably the first time my heart broke.
Has come in the form
First
of
relationship ending. I don't even know that it was so much that I thought it would last forever, but that you don't have to think about it ending till it ends.
It allows me to appreciate and value and cherish, because it can all be gone. I get that now.
When I was 13, I started growing boobs. And I realized I was changing. That was kind of an awkward moment. 13, 14, 15, my body was sort of betraying me. I really liked the way I was when I was 7 and a little bit freer to do what I wanted. But all of a sudden, my body was sort of taking over and doing things I couldn't quite control. And it kept doing it. In fact, it's still doing it. I'd like to sort of like do this sometimes, but I really don't want to do this. I really want to leave my body, I want to let my body do what it does and record time as a kind of a clock. In some ways, that 7-year-old is still inside my psyche and my soul. But the only place that I can show you that 7-year-old is in my family album. You can't really document the inner self of a person. I mean, you can't really photograph me at almost 60 as a 7-year-old. And yet, I still am that 7-year-old somewhere inside myself.
I see impermanence as a happy balance. Enjoy the impermanence. There has to be impermanence with permanence in equal time. Permanent kind of like we're helium balloons, but we need to be held. Impermanence of the world.
I don't know that anything is permanent at all in any of our lives or in the universe writ large. We have to admit impermanence into our lives. It's important to live with that impermanence as a frame of reference so that we can approach each moment or each day with a sense of humility about what we're able to do and what we're not able to do and relinquish control over things that we can't have control over. It's important to live as if things are as permanent as stone, as these relationships that we have, to invest yourself in love and concern for people, accept people's love, as if really that's the only thing that exists. Give yourself over to your work or your craft as if it'll be around, like Stonehenge or something like that. The commitment to living as if everything is always there forever, with the acceptance that nothing is going to survive.
We need to act as if things and people and ideas are permanent. They are true.
To believe in permanence, that things are
valuable.
always going to be
You couldn't
the same.
marry someone unless you thought, here's
Children
their
in
stay.
normal growth and development, they
You
need a
wouldn't
sense of
love people if you
permanence
were always
in their
thinking
life to
about the fact
develop
that they would die or
normally.
stop loving you.
It comes
That you
down
have to
to some
imagine a
basic
person
needs
as
of
somehow
security.
joined to and part of.
I
and
don't think we give that up
constituted by
necessarily
the
when
world
we're
that they live
adults.
in.
Because people don't like to experience it. People don't like to feel like things are going to change.
Your sense of what's finite and what's permanent changes a great deal as you get older. When you're a kid, it's impossible to imagine that you'll ever grow old. Old people seem impossibly old to you. It's incomprehensible that you're ever going to be that old yourself, or that you won't be around forever.
The only thing permanent is impermanence, this sense of transition and movement. And that's the one thing we know, is that time's going to keep moving with or without us.
You're a spirit being, that you came here to learn and to grow. And the spirit doesn't die when you die. The spirit lives on in some form. So that's not impermanent. That essence part of me, that's not something that I feel is fleeting.
impermanence might contribute towards greater peace in the world. But all these conflicts that look so real and so permanent can be muted by just changing the way we look at it.
One way of creating peace in the world is starting within ourselves. Because if we don't start inside, it can't be expressed outwardly. You can look at somebody on the street just when you're walking along, and you might look at that person and just smile, and that could affect their whole day. A smile, it has the energy that comes from that can be very healing to someone, even if you don't know them. I hope for myself that that's something I can always remember every single day, and I have to remind myself all the time because I believe that there's a lot of power in that. Our thoughts and our words carry a lot of energy. We have some responsibility to the way that we think and the way that we speak. And that can affect peace in the world because thoughts are very powerful. Thoughts carry energy.
Peace happens in an awareness that nothing is real outside of this moment.
Rather, peace is
The only thing that we have is this moment.
every day. When you get up in the morning, are you
And
at
it's
peace
the only
with
thing
yourself?
that's real.
Are you satisfied
That's where the deepest
with who
peace
you are
comes,
as
is when you rest into that.
As a child, a parent,
Let go of fear.
a member of society.
Don't hold on.
I think when you start off small,
Quiet your mind.
that
Come
peace becomes
to the moment.
who you are. Then I think we will get to peace on a bigger level.
To create more peaceful world, we should all come together. We've been fighting for something that's not belongs to us. This world is not belongs to us. We belong to this world. So we should live on this world with love, understand each another. I have to change it here. I must change all myself here. What I eat, what I do around me. And then the soul, my soul, I have to do it myself, and then my soul to travel, nice place where it belongs, But if I don't do that, change it, that good change it here on this planet, nothing else in me is no good. I have to keep on loving. That's why I'm doing very good. Because I respect everybody,
Well, I don't think the last day is as important as all the days beforehand, right? I mean, it's definitely your day-to-day that matters, and your moment-to-moment, and what you put out. So your last day, your last moment that you get to face your life, I think it's just going to be really quick and not very important.
There would be a lot that I would want to do. I would probably flip out and think, oh, I'm not going to get to do this. I would probably try to cram everything into one day, and I would probably end up not doing any of it. Just sort of get lost in the planning. Completely out of control and upset.
Interacting with my father, who's 88, he's not attached to anything. I'm able to experience him much more like I experienced my son when he was first born.
My father passed away about 6 weeks ago. Was dying of lung cancer. My dad and I were very close. And on his last night, there was this moment that I will hold on to as long as I live. And the moment was just holding on to him, and there was this deep sense of connection. That hug was just there, and then it was gone. And yet there is this eternity of gift that I'll carry with me.
our existence with these other beings who are sharing space is finite. This whole life is a play and it's a movie. It doesn't just mean that I'm that it's my movie and that, it's for me. It's for all of us.
If I can love myself, I can love all, the world, the universe, and everything in it. If I can generate that love, if I can touch someone each day and let them know that I love them no matter how they come to me, if I can show that I love, maybe that person will go away and feel a little better about themselves. But I have to have it inside me before I can give it to others. The love is what we need. Pass it on. And that's touching souls.
Whatever your age is, you should always think about this and realize how lucky you are. Appreciate what you have and be thankful. Live like every day as though you're to die tomorrow. Set a good example for everybody. You just try to live life to your fullest and you do your best at that.
I have a story about a holy man. He's walking along the road one day and a beggar comes up, alms for the poor, alms for the poor. The holy man opens his satchel and says, help yourself, my good man. He rummages around in the bag, finds a jewel. He's fixed for life. 3 days later, the beggar comes back, hunts down the holy man. Kind sir, I have come to return this jewel. I want to give it back to you and ask you for something much more precious. I want to ask you for that which enabled you to give it to me. And that, of course, is love.
Presence. What do I do with it? We come to life involuntarily. We did not have a choice. And we leave involuntarily. We don't have a choice.
Coming to terms with the nature of time, the nature of something that's past and no longer retrievable, and a future that's ahead of us and always forever unreachable, demands a kind of attention to the present. The present is impermanent. The present is a space of constant change. It's the space of the heartbeat. It's the space of brain pulses and blood flowing and rays coming from the sun and waves crashing. It's the space of temperature and circulation. To be present is to live in the space of impermanence.
This day is precious, this life is precious, and then people would maybe have a greater commitment to coming up with some resolution now rather than thinking later's going to be here.
I've never thought of life in terms of, time parameters at all. When I hear people say life is short, I roll my eyes. To me, life is long. When you compare it to any other species, with a few exceptions, it's a long time. And I don't think that a number is any measure of whether your life is long or short. So when people die in their 80s and, they had a good long life, I think, just because it was long doesn't mean it was anything but long.
You have to live your life every day, and you have to try to make every day special because it may be your last day. You don't really know that.
I guess I've been fighting impermanence on a daily basis.
This reality of impermanence, the awareness of impermanence, winds up being almost like a torch that comes in and burns off the chaff, burns off the debris, and leaves only that which is truly of value.
peace begins right here.
I have to change it here.
Within themselves. It's an inside job.
To start with yourself.
Be expressed outwardly.
Live in peace.
With others.
In small groups.
The way we look at it.
Peace becomes who you are.
Embrace impermanence.
Be more present.
Be more aware.
How you operate and exist.
Listen with an open heart.
Respect the differences.
Respect for and respect from life.
Take ego out. Accept others' ideas.
Understand
another culture. Be curious.
Think more broadly.
Start to feel seeing something from another perspective.
Be a little bit closer to their perspective instead of a little bit closer to yourself.
Be a part of things that are bigger.
To understand the breadth of what people are and the depth.
You can't hate someone whose story you really know.
You're going to think differently.
It becomes much more difficult to think that somebody's an other.
Celebrate the fact that everyone is different and how beautiful that is.
You'll want diversity.
We should all come together.
Collectively, we can make it a more peaceful world.
Contribute something.
Figure out a way to change.
The way we deal with perceived threats.
Humility and humbleness.
Let go of fear.
Not fight being frightened. Open to change.
How we approach each day.
Enter into in the meditation. Engaging life. Let go of the passing attachments of your mind.
Don't hold on.
We have enough that we are enough.
This world is not belongs to us. We belong to this world.
It's not about taking, it's about giving it back.
A little bit of give and take on all sides.
Greater peace in the world.
Transcend war, evolving,
redirect,
changing,
communicate,
connection, accepting the change.
If you can change it, and if you can't, you gotta live with it.
Stillness.
Openness, timeless.
Harmony.
A smile.
Music.
Kindness.
Greater care.
Love.
To give.
Compassion.
Empathy.
Forgiveness. Present.
To appreciate.
And be thankful.
Live fully in each and every moment.
Set a good example for everybody.
Be present of the life that you're living.
Spread love and joy.
Keep on loving.
To smile a lot.
Love is the basis for living. The same for all of us.
It's the same consciousness, the same energy, the same love.
We are all the same. Kind of like a grain of sand out there on the beach. We are all one.
The love is what we need. Pass it on.